Well, hello there, Rylan. I just wanted to share with everyone the lovely message that you decided to send me.
So go watch that video to see what she's talking about, what happened and all the details there. But the world is a different place. For those of you that are parents that have kids that are online and maybe you're not that into being online, you need to be. You need to understand what your kids are doing, and you need to understand more about technology in today's world. You can't just claim ignorance anymore. To give you just a bit of a preface about myself here, I come from an IT background. I've worked in a school before. I've seen some of the things kids do that they don't think of. Like, they don't even think that it's that bad of a thing, and ends up being a lot worse. And I'm talking everything from digital device theft to spreading misinformation within a school environment or online, outside of the school, things like that, the entire scope of it. But you will be an extension responsible for what your kids do, whether you know it or not. See, your kids aren't paying for internet. You are. Your kids don't really have a large, broad amount of rights, but you do, and you're responsible for those. This person, I commend them for doing what they did. Kids need to be called out on this stuff. It's not innocent anymore. Kids can do things like swatting. If you don't know what that is, I'll be glad to explain it. If you can't look it up, I'll be glad to explain it. But when a child under the age of 18, in a lot of cases under the age of 14, can cause a large disruption like swatting does, that's a big issue you need to be aware of. You need to be monitoring your kids' devices. You need to be a parent, and you need to be smart enough to understand the things they're doing. Your kids can get in trouble legally for saying things on Xbox Live or the PlayStation Network. Are you aware of that? Do you know that? More people need to be calling these kids out. Unfortunately, let kids be kids doesn't fly anymore, because there's too many severe things that can happen. Letting kids be kids is when they shove an M80 in a frog, as bad as that sounds, or, maybe go do something stupid. They really didn't hurt anybody. But in this age we're in, there's real harmful things they can do to people. And calls for threats like that, it's not as instant to say, oh, they're in another state, they can't do it. They can. There's places where you can go request things as long as you have the right resources. And if you don't think kids know how to get hold of Bitcoin and stuff, you are sadly out of touch with this generation of kids. They are smarter. They know how to do more things. There are too many parents who are ignorant about how technology works and have no interest in getting educated, but need to. I would love as a job just to educate parents on technology, but this country doesn't seem to think that's a useful thing to have done, and I don't even know how to get it started. Would you prefer, just asking a general poll here, if I was to rent out a conference center as a parent, would you come with a list of questions to be asked if I did an open forum, or would you prefer I went over a general course of topics? And would you pay for it? And if so, how much would you expect to pay? Because I would have to be paid for that. I would have an entire day where I'm doing courses like this back to back, or doing some education like this back to back. So there is education that's needed. And I don't think college education is the answer for parents that just want to know more about technology. But you do have to pay attention to your kids. I'm glad this person called that kid out and did what they did. And I hope something comes of it nationally, so an example can be made, because it needs to be. And again, for a lot of you oh, you're just blown out of proportion. I'm not. You guys that are saying that have no idea of some of the horrible things that have happened because a kid decided to do something. It's not enough we have kids bringing firearms to school. These kids can do cyber warfare. You don't seem to realize that. Cyber warfare is far easier than getting a weapon and doing things with a weapon. So any questions on the technology side, I'll be glad to answer those. I'm always open to questions on this channel. But just please make sure you understand what your kids are doing.